Well, we made it to 30. If you're watching this the day it released, it's my 30th birthday. And up until this point, I've learned so many lessons. Some great, some not so great. I've experienced so much. And I don't live with any regret, but looking back at my 20s, there are a few things that I would have changed that I want to share with you guys. For those of you who don't know, in my early 20s, I was severely injured in a hockey accident. And this led to me living basically in a hospital for the next 4 years. So I really missed the entire period of about 21 to 25. And I made a promise to myself that the second I got better, I was going to take every opportunity that life handed me and I was going to make the most out of it. And I feel like in the past 5 years, I've packed 15 years of experience in. So in the past few weeks, I've really been journaling and taking notes of everything that I would have changed in my 20s. So this is really a video to 20-year-old Scotty. And to any one of you out there who is starting your 20s or your early teens or you're in your 20s and you just want to start fresh, this video is a love letter to you. I think the first one that everybody wants to know is the financial side of things. It feels so weird saying this, but I've had so many young people that have come up to me and asked me, how did I get to where I'm at? Whether they see me in my ads, whether they've seen the businesses that I've grown, whether they've just heard about me, they just want to know. And one of the biggest struggles that they have is they're working that 9 to 5 paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, which there's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5, but if you're not taking your money and taking your finances seriously, you're really missing out. You need to be taking all the money you make and thinking about it long term. And I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but the earlier you can start investing in things, the better it's going to pay out for you in the future. I recommend finding a financial advisor as quick as you possibly can and just taking a little bit of money every single month out of your paycheck and throwing it into an investment account and then not touching it until you get into your late 60s, early 70s. Because what a lot of people miss is compound interest. Compound interest is what you're paid every year just to have your money in those investment accounts. So your money's making money for you without you having to do anything. And 1% to 5% sounds like a little bit, but compounded over time, if you're putting $200 away every single month into an investment account and letting it grow like that, by the time you're in your 60s or 70s, you're gonna have $1 million plus. And that's just money to play with at that point. Make sure that you budget your money correctly though. Figure out your exact expenses every single month and budget that money to hit those expenses. Taking care of your rent, taking care of car payments, taking care of food, and then having a separate pile for your investments. I'm also a Christian, so I have a separate pile for my tithes. But then after that, putting a little bit of money aside to have fun with. I'm not saying you can't have fun here, but you have to have a little bit of self-control to allow yourself to have extreme success in the future. And if you're thinking about setting a percentage aside, think 10 to 20%. And this can be investments into anything: stocks, index funds, ETFs, whatever it is. Just figure out what you want to invest in, do some research, and then go for it. Because investing in these things young is going to compound and build immensely over time. And I believe everybody should really look into real estate investment at some point. There's a lot to it, but there's a lot of money to be made in it. Once I got better, got out, started having some success, I made a ton of mistakes. Spending more than I was earning, getting too excited and making impulsive buys, investing in the wrong things, or taking advice from people that I shouldn't have been taking advice from. I'm no better than you, but I've taken all of the failures and I've corrected them over my time. So long story short, take a couple of weeks, get your money in line, and then build a plan for yourself and follow that track. And I promise you, if you follow that track, you're gonna be extremely surprised at how well it pays off for you. Number 2 is embarrassing and kind of weird, because today I'm kind of known as the fashion guy, kind of known as the hair guy, kind of known as the grooming guy, but realistically, when I started, I had no idea what I was doing with my grooming routine. And that's number 2. You have to figure out a grooming routine for you. I think when people think about grooming, they just think about looking good, but they don't see how much more depth goes into it. Your grooming routine affects your confidence, your first impressions on people, and it affects how you carry yourself in a personal and a professional manner. So you can see why having a great grooming routine is a staple in every man's world, because it affects every other part of your life. For this, it starts with skincare. And I really don't like the fact that there's so many cookie cutter skin programs out there, because everybody's skin's different, and you have to find what works for you. Some guys wash their face in the morning, wash their face at night, have a bunch of lotions and potions, and it works for them. But I'm gonna tell you my routine, I really rarely wash my face with any soap. I find that when I wash my face with soap, I actually get more acne, which is really weird. So my grooming routine is I wash really heavily with water, heavily rinse it, and then I use a moisturizer, I use an SPF in the morning, and then after that, that's really it. I've tried everything else. I've tried the retinols, I've tried the under eye creams, I've tried all of the stuff on the market, and some work better than others, but at the end of the day, I always go back to just simple and easy for me. Next is your hair. Finding a haircut that suits you is so important, because there's too many guys out there who just go to their hair cutter and they just say, hey, do something for me. But find something that really works for you. Invest a little bit more money. Go to a stylist. Ask them questions. What do you think would look good on my face shape? How do you think I should style it this way? What are your thoughts on this and that? And your barber or your stylist will be honest with you and tell you what they think would look best on you. And then once you get that cut, just keep it up and maintain it, because you would be surprised what a haircut can do for your look. Next is body hair. Now I get it. Having that nice masculine physique and having a nice bit of chest hair and body hair, it really kind of feels good every once in a while. But if it gets too bushy and too out of control, it can be a major turnoff to people. So making sure that you take care of your body hair and at least keeping it in check is essential. And having a great body hair grooming routine is worth its weight in gold. And seeing the fact that gold is the color of confidence, and this being my golden year, Manscaped dropped the Golden Lawnmower 5.0. You guys know I love Manscaped, how easy it is, how effective it is, and how I can take this thing everywhere I'm going. And with the Gold Lawnmower 5.0, you're really gonna stand out amongst the crowd. Just like all of their other products, it does have the safeguard technology on it, so you're not gonna nick yourself, you're not gonna clip yourself. It's also waterproof, so you can jump in the shower with this thing, take care of all your business, wash it off, and you are all good to go. And a cool part about the Lawnmower 5.0 is it does have the foil shaver attachment. So now all you have to do is pop off the initial blade, throw on your foil razor attachment, and you can go in and you can get a nice close shave every single time. I love the gold version. The fact that it came out so close to my 30th birthday was such a surprise. So if you guys want to keep your body hair in check like me, head over to manscaped.com right now, use my code SS20 off, save yourself 20% and get free shipping on all of your orders. So taking care of your grooming routine is essential for you. Because remember, it all comes back to confidence, and if you're not living in confidence, you're not going to be your best self. Number 3 is invest in true friendships. Like I said, in the beginning of my 20s, I was injured and I was in the hospital, and I got to see firsthand who my true friends were and who the people in my life were that I just needed to cut out. The people I needed to be there were there, and the people who weren't there, I didn't need them. It shocked me how little that number became. And I feel like this naturally happens in your 20s. You're gonna outgrow friendships, and you have to be completely okay with that, because you need to have a small circle that you can really trust and be there for you. So don't be afraid to lose friendships and relationships. I think it's actually a good sign when you start to lose those, because it shows that you're growing and you're maturing. Because with friendships, it is quality over quantity. I'd rather have 2 people that will really show up for me than 100 people that I have no idea if they even care about me. True friends are going to be there in the hard times. They're going to give it to you straight. They're not going to BS you. And that's so important. You don't want to have a bunch of yes men around you. You want people who are going to correct you and actually put your future first, because those are the people who actually care about you. So share your goals, share your dreams, tell people what you want out of life, and make sure that they hold you accountable to this. And then on the opposite side, be a good friend to other people. Be that person that you want to show up to you, to those few people in your life, and I promise you the reciprocation will be there. Make sure that you're a good listener over a talker. If somebody has a problem, it's not your job to fix it. And I made this mistake of always trying to be that guy who had the answer. But a lot of times when a friend's coming to you, they just need to let off some steam. So let them talk, and if they want your opinion, they're gonna ask for it. And the same goes the other way. So invest in those true friendships now and watch how it makes your life 1,000 times better. Number 4, get in the gym. I keep going back to it, but after my injury, I was in the hospital in and out for 4 years. If you guys know my story, you know I was a thicker kid, and then I got really big and really muscular, and then after my injury, I went right back down to being this scrawny little noodle. And then once I got better, I had to work my way back into the gym to get myself back to even where I'm at now. So if I can give any younger person advice, it's get in the gym and start building that foundational muscle that you're gonna need to keep for the rest of your life. Because as we get older, we naturally lose our muscle. So get yourself on a fitness program. If you're not in one yet, start with 1 day, then move to 2 days, then move to 3 days, 4 days. Now I'm on a 5-day split and I love it. I cannot go a day without going to the gym because it keeps me sane. Get in there, lift heavy weights, focus on compound movements, your deadlifts, your squats, your pull-ups, your overhead presses. Set up that kind of a plan and then just go for it. Get your nutrition correct, eat enough protein for your body, figure out all of those metrics, and then make sure it's optimized for you. We talk a lot about confidence on here, and I believe weight training is one of the key pillars to any bit of confidence. And I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder, but being nice, fit, and in shape and strong truly helps make a man. Number 5 is so key, and it's prioritizing your mental health. When you're young, you feel like you're invincible. And then out of nowhere, life hits you. You got bills, you got relationships, you got a life. You have to manage all these things, and it hits you all at once. And this causes stress, this causes anxiety, it causes burnout, and especially when you have so many things and you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be the absolute best, it can weigh on you. And I know from experience, it's okay to not be okay, but you have to be able to take yourself out of that and put yourself in a place of good mental health. This could be finding a therapist. This could be having good friends around you to talk to. This could be having family members around for you. Finding things you enjoy to do. Because stress, I've found, is really sneaky. If you don't have these things in place, it kind of progresses little by little by little underneath you until there's a major event, and then boom, it hits. And once it hits, it's very, very challenging to go backwards. So setting up these little walls along the way to help you is so key, because these are going to be the places you can run to make yourself feel better in those moments. For me, like I said, fitness is a huge part of my life. So whenever I have one of these moments where I start to get stressed or anxious, I just go to the gym and I knock out a workout, and it gives me so much mental clarity to come back and go, okay, I have control now, let's get back into it. But yours could be journaling, it could be walking, it could be having a dog or a friend and just hanging out and living your life with them, or cooking or anything like that. Just find something that works for you and make sure that you have that set up for yourself. And don't be embarrassed by what it is. As men, we're told to tough it out, but in a moment of breakdown, you really need to be okay with having those emotional breakdowns. But don't live in it. Let it come out, feel your emotions, and then find a way to come out of it and tackle it head on. Number 6 was a huge one for me, and it's something that all of you need to get really right really quick. You need to learn to say no. I understand it, and I actually said it earlier that you have to be open to saying yes to all of the opportunities that come your way. But you have to take that with a little bit of thought. Some things just aren't worth your time, and they're going to distract you from your ultimate goal in life, whether it's work, social obligations, or if somebody just asks you to do something. But you have to set boundaries for yourself, because saying no is so much more powerful than saying yes to things. Because by saying no, you're actually showing yourself so much self-respect, because you're respecting your personal time. And time is the most valuable asset that all of us have in this world. So remember, you don't owe anybody anything. There is the power of reciprocity, so if somebody truly needs you, then yes, absolutely be there for them. But if it's something you can say no to and you want to say no to it, don't be afraid to say no. So remember to preserve your energy, show yourself some self-love, and just say no. Number 7 is kind of a touchy one because you need to learn some things before you get to it. And that's building multiple streams of income. Because let's face it, the 9 to 5, as great as some of them might be, aren't going to pay you for the life that you want. And building little side hustles along the way or starting a business and letting it expand is so key in having success in the future. Like myself, for instance, I started in personal training. I built a successful personal training business, built a successful nutrition business, and then realized I didn't want to do that. And so I was very, very, very scared in that moment. But then I realized that I'm not stuck to who this person is. So I changed my identity. I was able to get rid of those businesses, take the money that I made from those, and start fresh. And I realized that I was really good on camera, so I thought maybe I should be a male model. So I started male modeling. That turned into photo, that turned into video, and that turned into me starting to talk on camera. And then all I had to do was take the knowledge that I was learning and then present it in a way which was fashion, which was hair, which was skincare, in a way that was easily digestible for people. And then in doing that, I had companies reaching out to me that wanted me to make ads for them. I took all my video skill, I took all my photo skill, and I just got into the ads world. But then I realized I want to learn how to run ads. So I started learning the ad business. So everything that I was shooting, now I could run it for myself. But then I needed a team underneath me who could edit, who could do all these things for me, and I started building a team in that way. And now all of a sudden I had a business underneath me that I had so many new clients coming my way that I had to start shuffling them off to other people to help. And that just expanded my business more and more. And so I started skill stacking, and all of these different things were bringing me multiple pieces of income from everywhere. So now I'm an investor in companies. Now I've got my businesses. Now I've got, reoccurring income from all things that I was doing. And then also I was still coaching, and now I've got a consulting company where I'm consulting creators on how to be better creators. Then I'm also managing other creators. So now I've got income coming from that. And then I've got my investment side of things because I'm putting money in my investments. So you see that all these little skill stacking things over the years really came together, and now I've got all these different sources of income that if one of them goes down, another one will pick up. And if that one goes down, another one will pick up, and then another one will pop up. And it's crazy how it happens. But you have to start, and you have to build skills in all these different areas to have that happen to you. And then being open to what comes your way and taking advantage of those opportunities. And the sooner you can find these little side hustles or the things that are going to build you up bigger on the other side, the better. Because if I didn't get hurt in my 20s and I would have started this business as a 20-year-old, I'd probably be retired by now. Not to say I want to be retired, but it's been so lucrative and so fun in the last 5 years, I don't even want to know where I'm going to be by the time I'm 40. Which I kind of do want to know about it, and I do have my plan in play for 40, but honestly, these next 10 years are going to be huge. So find things that you're the absolute best at with the least amount of effort and find a way to make income out of them. Because those are just low-hanging fruit, and it's going to make you a lot of money. Number 8, be relentless in your self-improvement. You're not going to know everything in your 20s, and you're probably not going to know a lot in your 20s. And that is completely okay because it gives you the ability to learn. And that's one thing that I would really, really dig into in your 20s, even earlier than that, and going forward into my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. Constantly be learning, because the guys who are the most successful are the guys who are constantly improving. We're constantly wanting to get better. We're constantly want to upgrade everything that we're doing in life to be the absolute best, because optimization isn't a finish line. Optimization is really just getting to a point and then going, oh, there's more. Oh, there's more. Oh, I can be better. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can optimize that. Once you have that kind of structure, you're actually going to progress so much further than you ever could even imagine in your life. Read books, get new skills, attend conferences, find mentors who are in the place that you want to be in, and then offer your services. Find a way that you can get in with them. Offer them anything just to learn from them and soak up all of that knowledge. One of the biggest keys and the biggest hacks that happened to me is I started seeing that if I got around successful people, I became more successful. I was working for free for so many people, just learning how could I help them? How could I be around them? What did they need from me? What was something in their life that was so hard that I could take on, make better for them, and then give back to them with no expectation? Because in these moments, I was learning, I was cultivating, I was seeing how they held themselves, I was seeing how they talked, and it was such a key part of my life of kind of humbling myself, going, I'm not gonna get paid in this moment, but this is gonna pay off so much in my future. And I can tell you, at 10x, 20x, 100x my success in an instant. Start reading more books, get around successful people, listen to podcasts that are actually having meaningful conversations about changing the world, because you can learn a lot from people even if they're not actually in your life. Number 9 is one of the things that I'm the absolute best at, and that is building your personal brand. In our modern world, I always say your presence is your resume or your portfolio. You are who people know you as. Whether it's through video, TikTok, Instagram, any social media platform, or in person, what do people know you as? And how do you show up? Because having a strong personal brand gives you leverage over everybody else. People come to me because they know who I am. Confident, skilled, able to communicate, and really, really, really good at what I do. And remember, your name and how people see you are the things that are gonna open up those doors of opportunity wide for you. So make sure that you establish a strong personal brand and keep it at the highest level. And the thing that I tell all of my clients and the people I coach is you have to focus on the key 3. Finding a niche, being consistent, and always offer value. But let's go back to the niche thing for a second because I've actually changed my mind a little bit on this. I used to think that being in a niche really meant that you had to focus on one key thing, but I think that you have to be your niche. The easiest example that I use for people is if I tell you, think about a podcast host who loves aliens, loves comedy, really can talk to absolutely anybody, and is really good at martial arts, who do you think of? You probably thought Joe Rogan. Now, all those things that he does are awesome, but they're not one niche. But he in himself is the niche. When I say all of those things, you immediately thought Joe Rogan, so that is the niche. So take all the things that you're really good at and that you love in your life and make them part of your personal brand. It seems like a lot, but once you start to break it down like that, you don't have to separate yourself from who you truly are. Being consistent is pretty self-explanatory. Never fall off the boat. Constantly be improving yourself, constantly be putting yourself out there, and what's working, just keep making it work. Too many people start to get success and then they start to rebuild the wheel. You don't have to do that. Obviously, you have to grow and you have to adapt and become better, but you don't have to rebuild what you already made. People know you for that thing, so just keep on it and just make it bigger and better. And always offer true value. Remember, the money, the success, the fame comes from the value. If your value is actually valuable to people, they will pay you, they will show up, and they will keep coming back. Building my personal brand has opened up so many doors for me. Meeting some awesome people, working with some incredible brands, and then through doing that, opening up more opportunities that are really allowed me to scale myself, to scale my success, and honestly make a living that I couldn't have even imagined when I was younger. So start building that personal brand and make it a part of you. Number 10 is a big one and it's probably the most scary. In your teens and your 20s, remember that you're young and it's time to take risk. And I mean big ones, but be smart about it. You really don't have much responsibility in your teens or your 20s, and this is a crucial moment for you and probably the biggest opportunity of your life. If there's ever a great time to do it, start a business or move to a new city to start fresh, or take this time to travel the world and really get some experience. Or if you've got the capital already, start that investment I was talking about. Because right now is a crucial time, and after meeting so many people who are late into their 50s and their 60s and their 70s who are extremely successful, and I asked, what's one thing that you could have done at my age or younger, what would it be? Every single one of them says, take more risk. Because once you have a family, once you have a career, once you have things going for you, it's so much harder to go back and go, okay, I need to buy back my time. And it almost makes me emotional thinking back to how much I missed in my 20s. But really think about it. If you start investing right now, if you took that major risk, if you talked to that girl, if you started that business, if you just went and put yourself out there just to see what would happen, imagine the things that could happen to you. Yes, there are those, but what if it doesn't work for me? But what if it does work for you? What if everything that you put yourself into actually unfolds in a way that you couldn't even imagine, and you're a multi-millionaire with the woman of your dreams, with the career of your dreams, with all of these things by the time you turn 30? What happens if that happens? You have to look at it like that. So if I could just grab you by your shirt and say something to you, it would be, don't be scared and take that risk. And I know I'm getting really involved right here, but you do have to be calculated in it. Make sure that when you're about to take that risk, write everything out. Make sure that everything looks good. Write out the absolute best things that can happen, but also write out the absolute worst. And then you have to weigh the options. If it looks like it's going to work out for you, don't be stupid, go for it. But if you clearly can see that it's not going to work, don't do it. Because you don't have to jump in head first. Mitigate that risk a little bit, put your toe in the water, see if there's some success, float around a little bit, and find those things that are actually working for you. And then once those things are actually starting to work for you, build a little bit, build a little bit, build a little bit. And once you start to see a little bit of success in that, that's when you go, I'm in. Go for it. Hit it hard. Take those risks, have some fun, and just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Yes, you're gonna fall on your face. I promise you, you are going to fail. And I hope you do. That's not a jab and that's not me trying to hurt you, but I hope you fail. Fail fast, fail early, get back up, and just keep going. You're going to fail, you need to fail, but that's a great learning experience for you. Don't be afraid of the failures, take the risk, jump in, and I promise you it will pay off for you. Because part of the fight is just staying in the fight. Those are the top 10 things that I've been thinking about. but remember, your 20s are the foundation of your success. And I think everybody says this, but if I knew then what I know now, I would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times further than I could ever be right now. And I want nothing but success for every single one of you that's watching this video. You don't have to make the same mistakes I did. You're gonna make your own. I promise you're gonna make many of them. But if I could help you out in this moment just a little bit, I've done my job. Even if you don't start with all 10 of these topics, I want you to pick one or two that you're really gonna focus on right now. Do it for me as a 30th birthday present. And do it for your future self. Like I said, I want you guys to pick two of them, and I want you to leave me the two that you picked in the comments. I made it to 30 on nothing but hard work and God's grace, and I could not be more grateful for every moment that I have. And I'm especially grateful for each and every single one of you that's watching this right now. So get out there, enjoy your 20s, understand that life isn't as serious as everybody makes it out to be, but make those connections, make it a great life, and until I see you again, stay confident.